Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 PLDA Senior Division World Championship. We are in round one, group one, 32 of the top senior division competitors in long drive in the world today will be competing. We've got a great group of hitters. Our first group on the tee box right now, we've got Zach Adams, Vincent Ciurlini, Rob Sipple, and Gideon Stander, all the way from the UK. And we're about to get underway right now.
Let's get it cracking, man.
Folks, I've got, tell me, Mazzaroni?
Close enough. Pat Morenzoni.
Pat Morenzoni with me yesterday. Pat and I teamed up yesterday for the amateur division, had a fantastic time. We're going to hit it off again this morning.
Let's do it.
And it's going to be great.
What are you expecting here, right? We've got a lot of big hitters here. Zach Adams, a very vocal guy. Love to see him out here. Knew he was here at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in slot one wearing the royalty sports hat in the black. He's one of these exciting guys that you're going to see. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. You're going to see it right from the get-go. Yep. And
As
he
you
likes
see
that
there,
one.
he liked that one. Let's see what we got. 201 ball speed.
I love it.
Looks like this is going to land. That's got to be a good shot there, right down the middle. A lot of curve on it.
Yeah, he's liking that. Good apex on it, too. He hits a pretty good ball flight. This morning, the conditions, the flags are nearly dead, not moving at all. I'm sure our cameramen will get some views of that for you can see, but just not much air movement at all.
Yeah.
The grass was mowed last night. They've restriped it. The stripes are looking sharp and bright. So we got a long day of long drive ahead of us. 5 groups of 16 players today.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see some good action.
We got some scores on the board already here, too. 351 for Zach Adams. He just hit another one that he liked. Rob's still yet to get on the board. Let's see what Rob's working with here. 344 on that last one for Zach Adams, by the way.
And we're going to see a little bit of nerves, right? It's normal. We're going to see a little bit of nerves out of somebody.
First swings.
And one of the things is you've been thinking about this for a long time leading up to this, for weeks and months, thinking about how this is going to go and what you're going to do. And sometimes nerves get the best of people. So see if Rob can calm me. He's got a ball in play, 262. Now the senior division, the minimum distance is 260 yards. The open division was 280. So we're going to see a little bit of leeway there. And we don't have to change anything today because of the wind. If we had severe headwinds or something, we might adjust that.
Yeah.
But Zach Adams, he's good. Gideon Stander, I'm going to say Stander because that's how he said it with his accent.
Okay.
Gideon Stander.
I like it.
And I love the accent. But he's flown across the pond to get here. Good performance so far. It looks like he's going to probably take second place in this one unless Vince Ciurlini's last ball.
That's a good one there by Rob.
Yeah.
156 ball speed.
See if he gets it in play. Looks like Vince missed on his last one.
That's going to be in play there for Rob. Last one there for Gideon, 344. So his high still would be 345. We get that confirmed.
Yeah, and Vince Ciurlini, he's also a crossover. He's going to be in the super senior division tomorrow morning as well. He's going to have a workout between today and tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, here's a question for you, right? We've seen Zach Adams kind of hit already this weekend, right, in the World Championships.
Yep, he's
and different
doing
things like
division.
that. You know what I mean?
Get off the air, Pat. Get off the air.
Bro, get out of here. Get out of here, though.
Get off the
You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing.
Get off the air. Get off the air.
Sorry about that little
Little interruption
breakup
there.
Little interruption there, dog. What's going on out here, man?
Hey, we
Look-
got some long drive action right now. Anthony Livingston in slot number 2. Anthony's a crossover player too. He competes in the Open Division. He's out of Florida. Ryan Gearhart, California player. Ryan's fairly new to the senior division. A lot of horsepower there, so we're going to see some distance between him and Don Beck, slot 3 here. Don is year in, year out, strong competitor in the senior division.
Yeah.
Puts a lot of balls in play too. He's at 341. Gearhart 340. They
Good
made that
shot
adjustment there. You see that?
Good shot there by Gearhart. 195 balls. I mean, now here's the thing, right? Senior division, right? A little bit different. Is there some differences in ball speed that we should expect here? Is there some differences in distances that we should expect here? What's the norm in this situation?
Yeah, so some of these top competitors in the senior division also compete in the open division. So what you're going to see from these senior division players is a lot of them are going to be very crafty with their ball flight. The open division, on average, tends to be a little bit more horsepower dominant. That's where people focus. You're going to see here, though, a lot of these senior division guys are going to flight the ball really well.
Yeah.
Put a lot of balls in play. Get one of those balls to have a good rollout. So
do you see more accuracy in this, you think? A lot more accuracy from these guys because they're just trying to make sure we get one in play, get as many on the field as you can.
I do. I think on average you'll see more balls in play. Now, this morning, like I said, there's a little bit of nerves we're going to see. Dante Doobie here in slot 4, new competitor as well. In fact, he happened to call in and be a fill-in when we needed leading up to the event, which is a good thing. So,
I'll be honest with you, right? He's hitting the ball okay early on for right. This is his first event.
Yeah,
he's hitting the ball okay. Saw 160 ball speeds on him, a little bit lower, right? Hopefully, I think he got one in play there. We'll have to wait to see what the judges think about that. But I thought we saw him get one in play.
And they may be confirming that because if you've been listening to the broadcast, you probably know that we have 2 balls that are of white color. One of them has a stripe on them to differentiate it. So that's why that 4 slot, they may be waiting to
Taking
confirm.
some time.
Yeah, take some time. We're going to confirm all balls in the grid, measured, marked, because we don't want to have any mistakes. We want to be fair to the competitors. So we'll see here. Anthony Livingston, he's gonna bounce back. He's a strong competitor. So Dante Doobie, 1 ball in play.
Dante
270.
Doobie, 270 on that 160 ball speed there. That's not bad, right? You said 260 minimum, right?
Yeah, 260 minimum in this division. We've got a long-time long drive competitor, Michael Dale, here in slot number 4. He's been out of the sport for a few years. Decided he would come back and try it. I think that kind of goes to show what we're doing with the PLDA is gaining some traction. Hopefully, we're also winning some hearts and minds of the older competitors because we want to include them. There's so much rich history in the sport of long drive that people just don't know about.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think this is – here's the thing, right? The interesting part of long drive is it includes you no matter what. I love that, right? Like, we've got guys from across the pond. We've got guys from all over the world here. We've got the senior division. I want to make sure I say it right. I don't want anybody coming back to me later upset. What'd you call me? You know what I mean? You're not old. You're seniors. And then, you've also – we had the amateur division yesterday, right? It really allows everybody to be able to get into it.
That's our growth goal is really make long drive available to everybody. So, and right now on the tee in slot number 1, we've got a reigning world champion, Jeff Gavin. Jeff Gavin's Canadian. Next to him is John Graves. John's out of California, former professional baseball player. Rick Scarfia, a longtime competitor. Now, one thing you may not know about Rick, and Pat, I'm going to blow your mind.
Let's do it.
So you see, right now Rick is hitting as a right-handed player.
Yeah.
He may mid-round switch to lefty.
Are you now?
I'm not kidding.
Does that mean he's got to bring multiple clubs with him?
Yes, he
to
does.
Switch it up.
Yes, he does. Now, I don't know if he's done that right now, but that is not uncommon for him to do that. So
you would have blown my mind if you told me he was going Jimi Hendrix, hitting it upside down, because he didn't have to.
Yeah, he's not going to hit it upside down. He probably could pretty easily, but you'll see it. I'm pretty confident we'll see it today, unless for some reason he just feels much stronger on the one side. We were in Port Rowan, Canada earlier this summer in July, and he was going right and left, back and forth, and I mean that takes a lot of skill. If any of you have tried to hit opposite hand, it is not easy. So John Graves leading the way right now, 352. Jeff Gavin's got to find his groove. Not really liking that
He didn't
one.
like that last shot at all.
Yeah.
That might land on the grid, though. Let's take a peek in here. That's going to land on the grid. Maybe just didn't like how he got contact on that one.
Yeah. Now, Michael Dell, he one of the passions that he has in life now is kite fishing, where they set up these lines with, and kite on it, and they go out in the ocean out of Cabo San Lucas and off the shore of California here and fish for these giant, I don't know what, marlins or whatever they're fishing for. But okay, Jeff Gavin on the board with 371. And that's what he told me. He's kind of found another passion. So he's going to come back and do some long drive. And I'm just like, hey,
Hey, whatever gets the time to go by. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It makes it go by pleasantly.
Enjoy life.
Let me ask you this, right? Because we've got a lot of guys in the senior division. We had a couple of guys in the amateur division, right, that competed as well in the world championships. Is it easier because you're in a groove already to kind of go cross league, or does it give them an advantage, right? You know what I mean? We saw Zach Duggan yesterday putting some great ball speeds up, and Connor K yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But they already had a little bit of a rhythm going. Is that an advantage, or is it you're hitting too much?
It's an advantage in one way, definitely, because being comfortable on the tee box psychologically is a tremendous advantage, especially when somebody's been, and this may sound a little nutty, but if you've been sitting in the stands all week long, watching the action, chomping at the bit to get out there, you may be a little too excited. You may, jump on the swing a little early, but there's also the disadvantage of if you've had to warm up and cool down and warm up and cool down, it will zap you of your energy in this heat. We're expecting another, 96, 98 degree day today. It's going to be hot. We're fueling up, hydrating as much as we can.
Oh yeah, plenty of water, plenty of water.
It goes both ways. But here we've got Jeff Gavin. Looks like he's going to take home the victory. One ball in play, the one ball is the longest, and we count just the one ball in play in these competitions.
And they thought they had a tie there between Rick and Michael, right? But here's the thing: it's not official until the people on the grid make sure that the lengths are right. We thought we had two 323s, thought there was going to be a tie. They confirmed Michael at a 325. He takes third place.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but ball's in play right now in that first set, getting points on the board. That's all a relief, right? He's going to come back stronger, and we're going to see too. There's a bit more. I don't want to say disparity, but sometimes the distance between these senior division competitors can be great based on being 45 years old or 55 years old or 65 years old. So.
Now, Jason Cook starting off with a rocket there, 190 ball speed. And are we counting him as best dressed here?
Yeah, so he actually went to the paint shop today and accidentally dropped a shelf on himself, and the paint got spilled all over. Luckily for him, it's mostly pink, purple, and yellow.
It goes together, right? It goes together. That's all that matters.
He's, Jason's been a long-time competitor. He's from South Africa, and he's come a long way. But you'll see this where players are really passionate, and they don't mind showing some flair, right? Like in this case here, that whole outfit is designed, right? And sometimes, it's like my high school baseball coach, Robert Furneaux, said, you got to look good, feel good, play good.
That's
right.
What it comes down to,
That's
man.
right.
Well, you're looking good out here, brother. You know what I mean? You're on the mic, you look good. Now it makes sense.
Yep. Troy Cayley in slot number 1. Troy's a multiple-time tour winner out of Canada. He lives here in the U.S. right now, but Canadian by birth. So a little bit of international flavor there. Bobby Peterson of the One Stop Power Shop in slot number 2, and Gerard Pera all the way from Spain. This might be the most international group we've had on the tee box so far. 3 of the 4 players from outside the United States.
And again, just talking about that, how widely spread long drive is, man. This is not an American's game. This is the world's game.
Yeah, we love it. We want it to grow everywhere. Jason Cook loving that last shot.
Feeling good. He's felt good about a couple of his shots here. 344, his longest so far, but that one might beat it. 194, nice apex, 155 on that. Only 84 feet of curve on that. So I think that's a good shot to feel good about there.
Yeah, he's sitting pretty good here in second place right now. 57, there's a 56. So he still is in second place, but he moved his yardage up to 56. So it's good to know you've got it in the bag when you need it, right? That's the
Yeah.
one thing.
Oh, now he's up to 58, topping him again.
See, and he's filling it up, right?
Yeah.
He's got 4 of the 6 balls in play. And that always helps because you don't know. The advantage of having more balls in play is you have more opportunity to hit the backside of the lump.
Yeah.
Right? Or hit the firm part of the ground where it's maybe a little drier
Yeah.
or, you know, a sprinkler head, what have you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you want to put balls in play as much as possible, push that lead. So
Bobby Peterson able to get that last ball in play. His long so far, 317. We'll see what ball number 6 goes for him.
yeah, we're going to get these official measurements here. It looks like Troy Cayley 57, Gerard Parra 306. I'm assuming that they know that Jason Cook's ball 358, but remember 2 balls that are white, one with at the white,
Very
green
close to
stripe,
each
slot
other.
number 4. So
Yeah.
we're going to wait for them to go out and confirm, and they'll double check, make sure. The rule is if it's within 6 inches, we consider it a tie.
Okay.
If it's outside of 6 inches, the longer player wins. So in this case,
And Jason Cook getting the win there, 358, just confirmed by the crew out there, as you can see on the screen there. Doing a good work out there, man. On days like this, hot ones, you know, it's hot early.
yeah.
That's a tough job to have.
You know, Jason Cook here, he's going back to back. Some people like that, some
Yeah.
people don't. He's feeling it right now, so I'm thinking he hit a lot of balls in play. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
feeling like he's going to like that after winning that set. So
John Graves, Ryan Gearhart in slot 2, Jason Cook in 3, and
So-
Rob Spill in 4.
yeah, Sipple.
Sipple.
That's
Oh,
the-
man. Dyslexic sometimes.
Well,
No, that's on me.
I know that. I know, Pat. Some of these players are new to you. They're new to if you're not out competing, and I do the registration.
Yeah.
So I try to help know how to pronounce
Yeah,
the name.
yeah, yeah.
Because sometimes, I'll tell you a funny story though. Sometimes I get the name wrong. We were at the Bigfoot Turf Sod Farm in LaSalle, Colorado this summer for our Denver event,
Absolutely.
and we had a kid helping us, and I think I called him Hunter for like 2 days straight, and he finally told me his real name, and I was like, why didn't you tell me? So
You knew who I was. That's all that mattered, right?
it's a good kid. So if Greg Johnson, if you're out there listening, we appreciate all you do for us.
Oh, it wasn't close.
So Greg is the owner of the Bigfoot Turf Sod Farm. So
Yeah.
he has dedicated a portion of his sod farm just for our long drive competition, and that's where we've had the record-breaking drive this summer. We had a 496-yard drive.
Yeah.
So we
Longest drive
appreciate
ever.
Greg and his wife.
Take a look in here, Jason. We got some numbers on the board here. Graves 59, Gearhart 36, Cook's at a 44. Yeah, I don't think he liked that one. 195 ball speed on that, but I think he's going to be OB right.
It's coming. One thing I will say about this Bridgestone ball, and they told us this,
Yeah.
that it would fly straighter, and I would agree with that. As I've observed all week long, you'll see the ball will get up and kind of turn, and then instead of continuing to slide that one direction,
Yeah.
it almost just straightens out. And I don't know the technology behind it. I know it's got a different dimple pattern.
Yeah.
The compression is not as hard as we've seen in the past, and compression is when the club and the ball impact, there's a little bit of squish, right? Like think of a marshmallow, right?
Of course, right.
You see in slow motion that ball is going to malform, and then it snaps back into form after the ball leaves the club face. So it's a little bit softer than what most long drivers are used to, but it gives it a good playable feel, and players like that. Players like that feel.
John Graves hitting a couple nice one here. He's leading at 361. Jason's loved almost
he's
every
feeling
shot he's hit today.
Yeah.
But he is sitting in second right now.
He loves it. He loves it. We just saw him go 58, so
Yeah.
He's
got it to get it out there.
Yeah, and this is probably his 10th swing.
Yeah.
And the golf swing, like in this with long drive, it's a fast twitch muscle movement, or like explosion. So he's going to start to feel a little bit of fatigue here, even though it's 10, 12 swings across like an 8-minute period.
Yeah.
It does, that burst of energy of swinging. It will take it out of you. It'll wear you out. So let's see if he put right now three of the 5 balls in play that we have now. Four of the
6 in play.
Oh wow! And he barely nicked Ryan Gearhart there. If we get official measurement there, another close call. John Graves, though, very impressive, 4 out of 6 with the long of 368.
Yeah.
When he first, if he first hit that ball at 359, I kind of thought to myself, it seems like maybe that's his range right now is in that 350 range, but extending to 368, he's going to just get more confident as he goes. And that'll give him, if he gets that win there, that'll give him 300 points after 2 rounds, which is, for any long driver, you're gonna feel good about that. 300 points. We saw yesterday, somewhere around 450 to 500 was the bubble to get in.
It's so interesting too. I'll ask you this, right? When you're talking about differences in swing, right? John Graves is Rob Sipple getting a 287 there on his second ball. And when you're talking about differences in swings and mechanics approaching the ball, right? You see John Graves looked like he had a smooth swing, 200 ball speed, keeping it pretty consistent, but able to get a 368 on that one where Graves, right, going hard, stepping into it, putting a lot of power in there. You know what I mean? Like, is there more of an advantage to hitting it harder, more of an advantage to just going with a simple swing? What have you noticed, kind of?
Well, the swing is actually a very complex thing. There's a lot of movement, right? Just if we had a slow motion, you would see that the player actually usually triggers on the front part of their body, right?
Yeah.
So their front left foot, if you're a right-handed swinger, they usually have to do a weight shift forward to go backward and then come back, right? That's just your feet. Then you have your hips turning at a certain radius, your shoulders, your hands getting above your head, the way you cock your wrist, how you're holding the club.
Yeah.
I mean, there's actually a lot of stuff going on there. So the key, though, is delivering that club face back to the ball so at impact you're creating a certain launch.
Yeah.
That launch typically wants to be somewhere between 12 to 18 degrees. That's as the ball takes off. That's the angle at which it's leaving. You want to keep your spin rate because the ball has backspin. Sometimes people think it has top spin. If it had top spin, it would be like a curveball in baseball where it would dive down.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and if you hit kind of the bottom of the club head on the ball, I guess that might be possible to see that and see it dive like if you top it, right?
Yeah.
But typically, anytime you hit the club face, it's going to have backspin, side spin, and which will affect how it flies. But so your question, you want to apply as much speed and force into that ball in order to launch it with certain flight characteristics so that it will carry as far and land as flat as possible to get advantage of the rollout.
So when we're seeing these Top Tracer numbers, I mean, I think Top Tracer has been amazing in this tournament, right? I'm sure for the viewers at home, right, just being able to see at least an estimation of like this is kind of where the ball is falling. But you see it kind of high apex and then coming down. Is it better to have a lower apex, kind of try and get a little, straighter? Like we saw 98 on that one. That's probably going to roll a little further than maybe a 150 would.
That's right, but not necessarily if you can hit the ball really hard flat.
Yeah.
On a grid that is a rollout grid where it's firm, the ground is firm, the grass is short, you can actually gain an advantage of rolling the ball out because the force is moving forward.
Yeah.
If you carry it too far, the ball will fall more directly into the ground.
Yeah.
And then the ground absorbs that impact, the energy, and it doesn't roll out. So there's a balance, and this is where the skill of long drive comes. Like, okay, so we just saw Gerard Parra. His launch was 17 degrees right there, right? Right down the middle, 180 mile per hour ball speed. He's a good ball striker. We'll see what his yardage comes back. He was at 330, and that's 374. Is that the longest of the day so far?
374 might be the longest of the day so far. Jeff Gavin really stepping into one there.
The defending champ throwing some weight around. All right, so Gerard's last ball we talked about, 337. So he hit it a little bit higher. The hang time was good. The ball speed was okay, at 180. But you can see here, if he was, I'm thinking he was probably, his club head was faster than that. He probably didn't hit it really, really square.
Yeah.
Because I think if he had, it would have gone maybe, like 350s if he had hit it solid with that launch, no spin. So,
what's going on, man? How you feel?
We just have the champ, a world champion in his own right, Eddie Fernandez Contreras. No, I'm just I
Hey, if you were able to pull that one off, that would have been
I-
the most impressive thing of the day.
I don't know how Bobby Bradley does that, but he remembers like 12 of those names.
It's unbelievable.
And that's your Spanish heritage coming out, right? Portuguese, Portuguese. Yes, yeah.
Well, hey, me too.
How you feeling? Well, let's get it.
Let's get in.
Let's get an interview with you real quick. So Eddie Fernandez
What's up,
with
guys?
me. Here, you don't have to kneel. You can sit in a chair.
We do have chairs.
I know we're on a tight budget, but we were able to afford some
all right.
chairs.
Got some chairs here.
So, Eddie Fernandez, two-time world champ,
Just one.
one-time world
Yep,
champ.
finished
I
second
know
at
you.
19.
That's runner-up.
Yep.
So tell me, we've talked about this a little bit. I'm going to be 45 next year,
Yes.
and you've in the past competed in both the Open
Yeah.
and the Senior. This week you've elected to
Yeah. Just
not do that.
Just do the senior division. Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
So I used Connecticut as a kind of like a test to see how I was going to feel. I'm in 51. I'll be 52 in November. So I used Connecticut as a test. I hit in the senior division, did very well. Obviously won that event in the senior division, and I
Back
was
to back to Rockwell too.
Yeah,
you won the next event
Utah.
as well.
Yeah, hit it really well. But Connecticut, and then I was 219 on the tee box in Connecticut ball speed, and felt great. The next morning I get up, I'm in Kyle's group in the 8 a.m. group, and club felt a little heavier. I got it to about a little over 214 on the tee. And then, qualified and got to the afternoon, came back 4.5 hours later. I literally was swinging out of my shoes 211.
Yeah.
So it's just, as you get older, regardless of how good a shape you're in, it's just, and you know how it is, Ryan.
Well, Mother Nature is undefeated.
Yes, and Father Time is as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm fresh, like if a lot of people have asked me why aren't you in the Open division? I'm like, I would, if it was separate, if it was, if the Open division were just 2 days. And then the senior division was a couple days after that. If I had a day of rest, I would be fine, so I could recover. But it's a lot. It's a lot on your body, and you know as well as I do that when that adrenaline kicks in, and you're hitting 30 to 60 balls full out plus practice.
Yeah.
It takes a lot out of people. Think it's easy, but it's not.
And we were just talking about. So Jason Cook had to go back to back. He won his first group, and then he took second in his second group. Both good performances, but it seemed like to me towards the tail end of his second set that he was looking fatigued. And you're right. I mean, it's a burst of energy.
It is.
Right. So if you do it, even though it's 12 times and it might be an 8-minute span,
Right.
It does your muscles burn out. They get fatigued. That short, fast twitch muscle action.
Absolutely. I actually don't mind going back to back in sets. I have a really good routine that I stick to. So as long as you stick to your routine and kind of take about the same amount of time between balls, so that's kind of how I view it. That's how I approach it. But hitting back-to-back days, in the Open division as we get older, hey, you can't be 210.
No.
I mean, I think I haven't hit this golf ball yet, but it looks like 210 is a really good number for this ball. Like Bryson's around, he seems like he's 208 to 213. I think he had a 215 yesterday, and he looks great. I mean, he's flighting the ball well. Justin James look awesome. That yesterday, I was sitting in the stands, and I got goosebumps. I mean, I've been doing this since 2014, right? 8 years. And I was getting jacked up. It was awesome watching those guys on the tee box yesterday. But that's what long drive is, right? They're just pushing each other. 426. Scotty Pierman goes like 424. Brandon Flynn like 415 or whatever. I mean, it was awesome.
And that's what you see. This is a long week. I mean,
Yes.
you've talked about the toll it takes on your body. It's a long week, but when you get down to like this last 32 group, you look at the pairings and you're like, wow, this is like, could it get any more difficult? Like, if you're a competitor, you're thinking, oh, I've got the hard group. Then you look at the other group and you're like,
yeah, well, that one's not easy.
yeah. Like,
there
I
is
don't know.
at this point today, top 32, there's no easy groups.
No.
You have to hit it great. The first day you can kind of get away with a little bit. But, even yesterday, you have to hit it well, and then today you have to hit it great. And then tomorrow, top 16, you have to be on your game at the end of the day. You have to hit it great, or else you're not going to move on.
Those guys that are in that flow state that can find the zone, they're going to be there. And we're going to see action like we saw yesterday, that last set.
Yes.
Those 4 guys. I mean, you're right. It's electric, and the audience can feel it.
Yep.
Hopefully, through the broadcast, you can feel it as well. So, congratulations, by the way, to Rick Scarfia for winning that last set.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
We got chatting
My bad.
and missed it, but congratulations to him. Right now, we've got Bobby Peterson at 315. Zach Adams yelled at that one, but not a good yell. I'm starting to discern his yell. I love Zach Adams. I
do too.
The emotion.
And I tell him, I'm like, would you stop yelling when I'm in your group? I always hit my longest ball when you do that. Like in, I think it was 2018 in Phoenix. Yeah, we were in the very last group qualifying for the Open Division World Championships, and him and I had to finish first, second, I think. Or one of us had to win, and I hit one 480. And he turns around, and he's like, are you kidding me? Right? And then in Utah this year, we're in the finals, and I hit one 441 in the final. He goes, why do you always do that to me? I'm like, because when you yell, it fires me up.
Yeah. So you gotta know. And he can't
if
not
you're
yell.
smart, just be quiet. When I'm hitting against you, just don't do that.
Yeah.
But he's a character. He scares the crap out of me. That's why I probably swing faster.
Gives you that little jump.
Gives you a little jolt of energy. Oh, man.
Tighter group here. Zach Adams in at 3.
Ooh,
okay,
52. That's a good ball.
Still not seeing much wind. There's maybe one flag of the 17 or 18 flags up there that's really doing any movement. Everything else is pretty still.
Yeah, I looked at the wind when I'm hitting at 1030, and it looks like it's going to be kind of downwind off the left by about 6 knots, which is about 7 miles an hour. So we'll see if we can put up a 4 bills today, Ryan. I don't know.
They mowed it last night.
I'm excited to kind of get out there, see what my ball speed's going to be with this ball on the grid in competition. So I'd love to hit 220. That'd be kind of fun. Old guy, so we'll see.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, get a couple balls in, get a couple smoothies in, and then just let it rip.
It looks like Bobby Peterson's going back-to-back here. Zach Adams winning that at 352. That's a good ball. Anything, 350s and 60s right now seems to be winning sets.
Who's got the longest ball
Gavin's
so far?
at 374.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good ball.
The champ.
That's kind of where it was. I think 380 was like this early in the morning yesterday and the day before. I think it was you. You hit one like 376, and it was a little into the wind.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow, that's a very good ball.
Yeah, and then I didn't hit anything close to that yesterday.
Yeah. Funny game, isn't it?
It is, but it's, and this is, I keep telling people this, you come and try it, give it a shot, you'll love it. People, you don't even have to be good at it, you can still like it. And that's one of the things that I really like about it, is that you can work at it, right? It's something that you can mix in an hour or two here and there. It's not a 5-hour round. I personally don't have time for 5-hour rounds,
Right.
so.
Yeah, and it is a lot more work playing golf, I can tell you that. I spend on long drive, like I haven't really played tournament golf in like 7-8 weeks. I've been just focused on this and winning another one. But real golf it takes its toll. Like I probably spend 5 hours a week hitting for long drive, and maybe 4 hours in the week in the gym, so less than 10 hours a week.
Yeah, but when you're blessed, physical.
When you're just
abilities that what's that?
Did you say your weight was? Where'd you say your weight was coming out of high school?
Oh,
135. People, it's funny.
He
I
was
made a post on
6'2",
Instagram.
135.
I really
he turned
was
sideways and they lost him.
Yeah, seriously. I used to have to run around in the shower to get wet. I was so skinny. Honestly, no. My buddies used to call me Fry Guy from the McDonald's commercial way back when. I look like a French fry, seriously. But I worked my butt off, Ryan, and that's the thing. When you really want something, when I seemed like it all through my life, when I've committed to something, it's usually happened in a positive manner, in a successful manner. So I think that's a good. If you really 100% commit to something, and you give it your all, and it puts you in the perfect. It just gives you an opportunity for success. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It just gives you the best opportunity to be successful. And I think that's what people, there's no guarantees, right? But if you put the work in and you commit to it, then it gives you the best opportunity to be successful.
One thing too is we have to keep in mind sometimes that we can measure success differently, right?
Yeah.
If you're a newcomer to the sport, right, maybe just hitting a certain distance, pushing your personal best forward, at the end of the day, there's going to be one guy from the senior division who goes home the champ today.
Right.
1 out of 32. Everybody else is going to be somewhat disappointed
Yeah.
or not happy with
For sure.
how things shook out. But, right, if we – and this isn't – I'm saying like moral victories, right?
Right.
But we have to be realistic with ourselves. I mean, Jeff Gavin is a machine,
Yep.
right?
Has been for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, he's leading this group
really impressive.
356. I mean, he's a special athlete, right?
Yep.
Such as yourself. And
Absolutely.
so, if you get into the sport and you're not that same, physical specimen,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You can still enjoy it and have a good time and
Yeah.
improve and get better.
Yeah, it's funny, in 2018 and 2019, I made 8 Final Eights out of I think 12 events in the Open Division in 2008, and I believe Jeff made either 7 or 8. So that's 15 or 16 Final Eights out of 24 events for guys that are 50 years old. I mean, I don't know if that will ever happen again. It's just, it's a testament to the way he's taken care of himself over the years, the way I've taken care of myself over the years. It can be done.
Yeah.
It's just impossible is just an opinion, right? If someone, well, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, that's your opinion, right? It's
Right.
not a fact. So I love it when people say, oh, wait till you hit 40, wait till you hit 50. And, I hear, oh, wait till you hit 60. What are you going to do when I'm 80? Wait till you hit 90?
90, yeah. Yep.
So it's a mindset. It really is. And until Father Time says, okay, you're done, then that's it. Until I'm going and I can't. I would love to compete in the senior division until I'm 80. Seriously. I would. Don't know if that could ever happen, but you never know. But that's, why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
exactly. Why not?
Let's push the limits of human performance, of age, and get that stigma out of there.
Part of the journey of life too, right? I mean,
Right.
that's part of it. So, all right, we
Yeah.
got a good set here, or good group here. John Graves, newer competitor this
Great.
year.
I mean, awesome. He introduced himself to me earlier. I want to say it was either Connecticut or Denver, and what a sweethart of a guy.
yeah,
He's-
he came
he's
and
an
helped
awesome,
call balls. He said, "Hey, what do you need? I'm here."
awesome addition to this sport.
Yeah.
He's just a first-class guy. I was making fun of him. He got some skinny herringbones on today, his pants. But he's good, man. Look, he's an athlete. These younger guys can look at us as we age, right? The guys that are in their 20s, and they can say, man, I can do this for another 30, 40 years. Because as you know, like when I saw Tim Burke win in 2013, I was like, man, that looks really cool. I want to try it. And I didn't really know anything about it in 2013.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun getting into it. John
Yeah, and that's
Graves,
what I
350.
can't say it enough. If go to our webpage, prolongdrivers.com, go to contact us, get on our email list, follow us on social medias at prolongdrive on Instagram is probably where we're at the most. We do Facebook as well, but check us out, follow us. The schedule will come out on our website. Find a qualifier near you, find a competition near you. We're very player-centric. We're a player-based organization, so we want people to be involved with the sport,
Yep.
help run qualifiers, volunteer at events where they can, do what they can. But overall, just come out and compete because you'll love it so much
It really
when
is.
you try it.
And I think the one thing with me is I'm friends with so many guys. I've gotten to know guys all over the world, and I stay in touch with guys from Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and the one thing I made a post the other day, just hey, the new guys, they look at you and you can tell they're nervous, right? They know who you are, they've seen you on TV. And it seems like they're intimidated or nervous. Come and talk to us. I mean, come and ask us questions. All the new guys. I mean, that's what you guys are the future of the sport. So any of the new guys that are here or first timers or maybe even second timers who might be a little feel intimidated, please don't. Please come and ask us questions. I think all the guys would be receptive to it. And that's what the sport needs. It needs the young guys to carry it on and just like the Reed Russells, the new guys. I mean, these guys are studs. Seb Twaddle. I mean, the kid looks like a Greek god for crying out loud. He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the future of the sport.
Nice kid too.
Oh,
nice
awesome kid. They're all. I equate a lot of these long drivers to hockey players. I've been around a lot of NHL players, and they are just so down to earth, so cool. But when you get on the box, you want to rip the other guy's throats out. and then you can go to dinner and bust each other's chops a little bit, and have some fun off the grid. But when it's on the grid, it's get after it.
I hear that from a lot of newcomers in the sport, how they're surprised that you can come and be assimilated into the sport really easily.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we're just normal guys. We put our pants on
one leg at
both
a time,
legs
man.
at a time, just like everybody else.
Yep.
Just jump right in. No.
Yeah, Scotty Pierman said after that set yesterday, I was talking to him and he was jacked up, right? I love Scotty. He's such a great addition to the sport. He's so fun. He cracks me up. Like he gets so wound up and fired up.
Focused.
He is I don't know if there's a guy that loves the sport more than him. I would love to meet him, but I don't think anyone loves it more. But he said that's what it's all about, testing yourself against the best in the world to see where you stand. And that's what it's about when you come here at the World Championships. Qualify for it and come out and just let it go and see where you stand. Compete against Justin James, Kyle Berkshire, Martin Borgmeyer, these fastest guys, Ryan Gregnall, and see where you stand, see where you hit it. And you can measure yourself that way. Go back to the drawing board. How do I get better? How do I get faster? So,
there's a little bit
awesome.
for everybody, right? Like if you're like a physical trainer or into the athletic side of it, the training, you've got that. You've got the equipment side of it. I love the psychology of it.
Yes.
I'm a people watcher, right? So I love seeing, trying to get into the people's mind. Like, some guys are hard to read. Like Anthony Livingston, he's just a calm. Like he's very even keel, not a lot of emotion.
He reminds me of you. Your mannerisms, just very. You can't really tell if he's doing great or not doing well. He just kind of hits it, looks at it, may say a couple words to it, and then he's up the next one. So, which is a good way to be. That's him, right? That's his personality.
Right.
Where Zach is just like jumping off the roof, screaming, yelling. 340, 341 for Jason Cook.
Yeah, Jason Cook, he's got a good, strong performance here. A win,
absolutely.
A second place. Gavin, 3 wins. John Graves, 2 wins and a second place. So, currently, first place here, Jason Cook, and then Anthony Livingston is second with a 324. Zach, it wouldn't hurt Zach too terribly to have a bad set here and go OB, but you hate to see what that does, after for the next 2 rounds.
Right.
He's at 400 points right now. So if he puts, this is sometimes the curse, right? Is when you're like ahead, doing well, and you say, "Oh, I'm just gonna play golf and put balls in play." Okay, there we go.
There we go. As soon as you say it. So it's funny.
He did not just try and put a ball in play. He went after that ball.
It's funny you say that because, I learned I haven't competed in 3 years until here. Finished second to Gavin, my first event back in almost 3 years. Then I went to Denver, swept the round robin, got in the final 8, and I said, you know what, I'm a little tired. I knew who I was hitting against. I said, just kind of get a little grid finder out there. I lost my rhythm, and I want to finish in third, and I didn't make it through. I was so mad that I did that. It's like a rookie mistake. So in Connecticut, I'm like, I am stepping on the gas every round. I don't care who I'm hitting against, and that's what I did in Connecticut and Utah, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Win, lose, or draw, I know I've got the right mindset coming in. So
rarely ever, and maybe you could talk about this because you play a lot of golf, where I'm just always training long drive. So for me to try and slow down and put a ball in play, it's like it's the kiss of death. I'm left, I'm right, I'm spinning it, like that to me is like the worst. I'm much better to just go at it.
Yes.
Because that's how I train and how I practice.
Yeah.
That's a better tempo and rhythm for me than slowing down. So
yes.
Congratulations to Jason Cook there, 344. We're still waiting for a couple of balls from Anthony Livingston. They're going to make sure that gets double checked out on the grid, but it looks like Jason's going to move forward. That's going to put him with 2 wins and a second place finish at
500.
500.
Should be pretty good. I mean, he can kind of almost cruise as long as he gets 1 ball in the next set. I think he'd be good.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. Eddie, like in your situation, are you trying to dominate and send a message, or would you go and maybe test some equipment or try a different setup or do something different?
I'm going into this today. I've got my play long driver, so I'm going to hit about a 7.5 degree to start. And I'm going to get some balls in, and then I'm going to push it a little bit just to just to see what the ball is, because I haven't hit the ball yet. So this is almost like my first time practice session, sort of.
Yeah.
And I want to see what the ball can do, what it's going to feel like when you get on it, and how it feels and how it flies. So it seems like it flies way better than the other ball we played. So it looks good.
Yeah, I liked it. I was telling Pat earlier that it seems to fall straighter down.
Yes.
Like it doesn't slide left and right. It seems to just kind of come down.
Yeah.
It moves, at first you'll see it move and then it kind of comes down,
Right.
which is awesome because
Yes.
if I were to ever play golf, that would be the kind of golf ball that I would want to play with.
Play, right?
So, I mean, I hit the maintenance shed in China. I don't know if you've ever heard that story.
Yes,
but
I have, and I think you hit a guy in the forehead, and he had that big. I think we posted a picture of it. It really wasn't. It was.
I've
it
hit
was a
this
joke.
first
It really
house
wasn't the guy
to the
you
right
hit,
over
but-
here. Did I ever tell you that? Pat, let me tell you the story. So okay, so when I did not qualify my first year in long drive. I came and tried to qualify for the World Championship. I missed qualifying the 4 events. And so, but I went home. I was determined I was going to be fast.
Right.
So I trained all winter long. I had this little thing called a swing speed radar, and in my living room I was swinging, and that machine would pick up the speed of the way of the club as you swung. I trained and trained and trained and trained. I got my speeds up. We come out here to the Desert Launch, which is the first event of the season that we do, and I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. If I was 20 feet from the barn, I would have missed it. I literally hit this house on the right. The guy comes out of his patio, picks up the ball, looks over at us like, "Are you kidding me? You just hit my house, and I'm to the right. I'm not even close to the grid." But I'll tell you one thing that helped me though. That training, I think I spent $500 on qualifiers that day. But I'll tell you what, that actually helped me to break through kind of some of those speed barriers.
Absolutely.
Because of the training. And then I got a different device that was a what do we call it?
You're getting close.
Ernst Sports ES10, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
That measures just the ball speed. And I learned a valuable lesson that the club speed is only as good as you hit the ball, right?
Right.
You can be swinging 160 miles an hour, but if you can't hit the center of the club face and transfer that energy into the ball, it really doesn't do you much good. And this kind of goes back to a question you had earlier, Pat, that the ball speed is actually, it's more important than club head speed. You can't get the ball speed without the club head speed.
Right.
So if you're out there and you're training, you want to do it. Flight Scope has a really good product right now that's called a Flight Scope.
The Mevo Plus.
The Mevo Pro Plus, I believe it is. Very affordable, fits in your bag, very good. Or the other option is go to a Top Tracer range, right? Top Tracer is building out these ranges all over the country where they've got their data acquisition systems. You can download the application. You show up, scan the barcode, scan the QR code, takes right into the app, and it tracks. You can monitor all of your hitting right there. So it's a fantastic product. So go to Top Tracer, look up where they've got a Top Tracer range out there.
Yep.
And
My
there's
buddy Chris Cody up in Connecticut.
yes, Chris Cody.
Yep, Portland, Connecticut. Awesome. We went to college together. Great guy. If you're around the Connecticut area, go check him out in Portland, Connecticut.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. Technology is a huge part of golf right now. We're finding that, like in my area, we're starting to see more indoor centers. So very cool. All right, so I just chatted away, and I forgot to
The Pasta Man, look at that.
yeah, Pasta Man, Vince Ciurlini,
It's
winning
awesome to
that
see him out here.
333.
He's had some health issues the last few years, and he's out here competing, man. He
That's-
just it never leaves you, right? Never gets out of your blood.
It gives you something to work at. Like I bet if you were to talk to Vince, you'd find out that it's one of those things that helps him keep healthy, stay healthy. It gives him something to work for and train for. So I think that, good to see Vincent out here, and good win there. That moves him up to 350 points with 2 rounds to go. Now, we're here starting the 4th round of 5. So we're seeing kind of how things shake out. Jeff Gavin with 600 points. He's won all 3. John Graves, Jason Cook, both have won 2 and taken second once. Zach Adams at 450. He should be comfortably in at this point as long as he's put some balls in play. and Vince is right there. Ryan Gearhart with 300 points.
Yep.
Kaylee and Rick Scarfia with 250 each. So that's kind of your bubble right there, 250 at this point.
Yeah. This guy in slot 4, Troy Cayley, looks like he hits it pretty good. What's Troy's ball speed looking like? 87. Okay.
Yeah, Troy's one of these guys that when we first started doing PLDA, we were doing our first 4 events at the One Stop Power Shop. It was during the whole COVID shutdown and everything, and so he came out. I don't know. I think he lives in Georgia or out. I can't even remember. I think it's Georgia or Alabama. But anyways, he drives to the One Stop Power Shop, shows up, and hits the ball really. He's kind of hitting these low cuts.
Yeah.
But really just hit the ball well. And I think he won like the first 2 or 3, competitions. And then at the national championship that year later, Mike Bauman showed up and gave him a run for his money. And Bauman was the champ that year. And he'll be back today. I think he's hitting in your group this afternoon.
Yeah, I believe he is.
So, yeah.
Where is he? 195 ball speed. That's good.
Yeah, Mike had a great performance last year too at the ALD or XLD championships, multiple wins, I believe. So he's always a strong competitor. Yeah, good.
I got
field
Bauman in the first set.
First set,
3,
yeah, you better be ready.
10:30. I'm ready. I'll be ready. You know I'll be ready.
Anthony Livingston, 329.
Yeah, that's why we do. It's why
Yep.
I train so hard and prepare so hard so we come out here and put on a show. Let it go, and whatever. If I take care of my business, it'll be good. So.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where you measuring yourself, right? I mean, this is an individual sport, and so it's you against everybody else,
Right.
And so, but you as an individual have it's finite, right? Your limitations
Absolutely.
are finite,
Right.
So you do what you can, the best of what you can with what you've got, and I think that you have to walk away, saying like, "Hey, I did the best I could. I hit the ball
Absolutely.
well. My performance was good, and the other guy maybe got the bounces or whatever. I'll
Right.
come back and get him
Yeah.
next time."
That's what it's about, right? I mean, when you're on top of the mountain, the only way you can go is down. So
Yeah.
you just you take it. You're a good sportsman, and if you win, great. If you lose, nobody wants to lose, but you just kind of go back and say, hey, where could I have been better? And you don't make excuses, and you say, where could I have been better? And there's no the cool thing about there's no participation trophies here.
Yeah.
And it's see how you compare in every division, and if you're not where you want to be, you either commit to do it or you train your butt off and get better.
I want to ask you a question
Yeah.
about an experience that I had. I want to hear if you've had this experience. So this was a long time ago, but Pat, you may not know this, but at one point, I was the #1 ranked player in the world.
Yeah.
It was the greatest 10 days of my life. So, don't tell my wife I said that.
Not as short as Steenberg,
Yeah.
though. I think Steenberg was like a week, wasn't he?
Yeah, it
Or
was
something like that.
quick.
Ryan, yeah.
But anyways, my question was there was an interesting thing that happened from when I went from #2 to #1, and all of a sudden I felt like people looked at me or treated me differently. There was kind of, and Will Hogue, who was #1 before me,
Yeah.
he said something to me. I think he said something like, now you'll get to feel what it's like when everybody's chasing you.
Right.
And so that I didn't think about that, but people, I think they did treat me a little differently because now, I mean, and maybe you can tell me your experience with this, but it felt like to me like there was like the pack of wolves was after you.
Yeah.
Like it was like they looked at you differently. They you'd show up somewhere and they'd say, "Oh, this is the #1 ranked guy in the world," or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so what was your have you
Yeah.
have any unique experience?
Yeah, well, of course. So I was #1 in the world from 2018 to 2020 before COVID.
Won the world championship.
Won the world championship. Won a bunch of events. Was swinging it great, and it's almost like they not necessarily get treated differently, but you can almost see. I mean, look, I'm probably the fastest guy in the senior division right now.
I don't think there's any question.
Jeff Gavin is he's always been fast. Regardless if we're the same or whatever.
He's at 375 right now, by
Right.
the way.
So, and that's
Long-
awesome. Yeah, and
long
that's,
ball of the
but,
day
but
so
see
far.
what happens when I compete against Jeff. I know I have to bring it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we love competing against each other, because we push each other.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're the two guys in this division who are at the top
high end
speed-wise.
horsepower.
So,
Yeah.
and that's what drives us, right? If he got me in March here, and he beat me by like 6 or 7 yards. And it was fine. I mean, I was hitting a different setup than I am now, and I've been training since then. So I've gained some speed, and but that's what it's all about, right? Like, I want to get him back here.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like
Yeah.
itching, right? And if we meet in the finals, it'll be fine. It'll be so awesome. So but that's what it's all about. But like, guys are you can see the intimidation in some of the guys, I think. But I'm just, I want to help some of these older guys too, and they
Yeah.
look at me like an inspiration. I get it all the time on social media. And, I want to share what I do, like how I train, what I eat,
very cool.
how I
Yeah.
eat, and some of the things I do to keep staying healthy. So, but I'm going to get going here in about 30 seconds, Ryan. So it was fun. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you coming in,
Yeah.
and not just right now, but all week. You and I have been on the cans.
Yeah, it's been fun,
earlier
man.
this week.
I enjoy this. I love the sport. I'm a fan,
Yeah.
just like you are. I mean, we're all fans. We're all competitors. At the end of the day, when we're not hitting, we're rooting for everyone. And, like, we have so many friends out there. It's like, who do you root for?
Yeah.
You just hope all your friends hit their best ball, and whoever wins wins.
That's right.
So, but
Good luck later
thanks,
today.
buddy. Yeah, I'll be ready. You calling my set?
Yeah,
Nice.
I think so.
Well, I'm gonna try to light it up a little bit.
Robert,
so we'll get some,
Robert
get some
Bradley
good ones in.
Jr. called me last night and said, I'm going to Vegas, might be late in the morning.
Yeah, he called. I talked to him already this morning. He's so funny.
No, I think
But,
he's put a lot of hours in
Yeah,
on the headsets this
He's really
week.
good.
He's good. He's fun.
Yeah.
And we appreciate him so much. He's
You got it.
We had that little trip up last year where we had to put him on suspension for a few months.
For a naughty word. Yeah.
Yes, for a naughty
that's
word.
Bobby. I mean,
but-
it's.
so,
I think
but
he only said one though, didn't he? That's
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
For him.
it was the
But,
one though.
It was the one.
So, but he does a great job, and he's the same. He loves the sport.
Yeah.
We can't
15
emphasize.
world championships, Bobby.
Yeah.
Man, that's impressive.
That's
man.
cool. Yeah, he
Qualified for 15 world long drive championships.
and his business has been golf for a long time.
Yeah.
So we've talked before. I mean, he wants to see the sport succeed, and he's one of the guys too. It's like it's not about him.
Right.
It is about the sport. So he
Yep.
comes out. People don't know he volunteers his time to come out and do
Yeah.
this. We've never paid him.
Yep.
He call and ask, do you need me?
Yep.
And he pays for his own travel. I mean,
Yep.
someday,
Yeah.
I would,
well,
I would
that's-
love to reciprocate and be able to help him out and show him that,
Well,
because he does a great job.
when I got here on Tuesday, I came up in the afternoon and I saw the top tracer and the 4K cameras and the whole production, and I'm like, man, this is awesome. When you're watching at home, you can it's so inclusive for you can see every hitter, with the YouTube feed, and you can see the numbers, you can see the ball speed, you can see the height, you can see all the numbers. So it's awesome. Props to you guys for making it happen. So
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I can't wait. I'm starting to jump out of my skin. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go warm
yeah.
up here.
Go
in a few
get
minutes. I
loose.
gotta do a quick interview with these boys, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank
See
you.
ya.
All right,
All
we're
right.
gonna turn.
See you
We're
guys.
gonna get Pat on the headset here with me again. I don't know what it is about you and me, Pat. We just kind of flow. I like it.
Hey, I ask all the questions. You have all the answers, and that's the goal. You know what I mean?
And if I don't have it, I'm gonna pretend I do and just keep talking.
that's what
So
it comes down to.
All right, so we've got Gideon Stander with a good set going here. 349, 3 of the 4 balls in play.
Leading the way.
That's a good feeling. We've got him on the slot in top tracer here. We'll get back to him when he gets his ball teed up here. Gearhart.
Out a little bit left there.
Yeah.
OB left.
Yeah, Gearhart having a hard time finding the grid right now.
Here's
You know,
Gideon.
and he's on-
193.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that going to fall in, though? That might be a little too much to the right.
You see how it falls down, though?
Yeah.
Like I said,
It
I
falls
think
hard. It falls hard.
that's one of the characteristics of this particular ball. So very cool. So glad to have Bridgestone, be a part of this, the partnership with them. We couldn't be happier. They've been so good to work with. So
Now we talked about it a little bit yesterday, right? But let's get back into it, right? Like you've talked about the Bridgestone ball a little bit, but based on different balls that you hit, I understand dimple pattern and stuff like that. But what's the difference that you've seen just in your own swings and some of the swings that we've seen here today? More accuracy, things like that.
Yeah, I mean they told us the ball would feel softer,
Yeah.
and it typically as a golfer, when you say the ball feels soft, usually that's going to be a reduction in speed.
Yeah.
And so typically your distance balls are not going to have a really great feel, a softness. You know it's not going to stay. The ball's not going to stay on the club face as long.
Yeah.
With the harder compression ball, it's going to transfer the energy, and so you'll get more speed out of it, but less feel. And players, most golfers really like to have some good feel out of their ball. So this is bringing a combination of the feel,
Right.
and the distance, and the flight characteristics, and the aerodynamics produced. So we're seeing really good. I'm not seeing any wonky or strange ball flights. Very consistent.
I think, and here's the question I'll ask you, right? Have you noticed the difference when you're hitting it with wind being a factor, right? From other balls that you've hit, have you noticed that the flight pattern's been straighter through the wind, cut through the wind better? Has it moved with the wind, a little bit more, and you've got to adjust to it more? What have been your experience?
I'll tell you this: probably the best way to gauge that is the feedback that we get from players.
Yeah.
And there have been balls used in the past where players will hit a ball and they'll think, man, I broke that ball when I hit it, or there's something weird going on with that. And I'm not hearing any of that feedback at all. So I think when something's not broken, people may not pay attention to that. But you can measure that statistically, right? We're getting no complaints.
Yeah.
The feedback is good. People seem to like it, but not having the negative feedback, I think, is probably the best positive feedback to get, if that makes any sense.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Hey, no news is good news, in other words, basically, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you'll some of the balls, I remember we used a golf ball, and it almost felt like it was a glass ball that I was hitting. It just
didn't feel good coming off.
Didn't feel like the ball compressed at all on the club face. So
Zach Adams felt real good about that one. Put up a 344 on that one. I don't know if he likes this one as much.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a headwind coming at us. The wind's not doing a lot, but the environmental conditions are such a big part of what happens in the distances. And people ask me all the time, they'll say, what's your longest drive? And you tell them, and then they kind of look at you like, is that real? And, you have to take into consideration a lot of things. We were at a competition one time in Mexico City, and the wind, instead of blowing in our face, switched and started blowing out, but it was only 5 miles per hour maybe.
Yeah.
But we were at like 7,200 feet elevation, thin air. I mean, Denver's 5,200 feet, right?
Above sea level.
So we're in Mexico City, and it's like 7,200 feet above sea level. The air is thin, and just that little bit of wind movement, balls were going from like 390 to like 430 to all of a sudden, I think Will Hogue hit a 483 yard drive, and just because of that slight difference in the weather. So the wind is always a big factor. You need to compare it to the field. It is similar to golf, right? If you have Dustin Johnson who shoots 22 under and the guy that finishes second shoots 12 under, you just know that Dustin Johnson was in the zone, right? He's 10 shots better than the closest guy.
Good shot there by Graves, 198 ball speed. Hit that one straight.
Yeah, and he needs that. He's at 290, so if he puts that in play, he could, potentially 6-ball Zach Adams there. We'll keep an eye on that. So
Zach Adams got a 344 as his highest. Now, again, they're going to be measuring this till we see that line underneath. Oh, Dante Doobie getting on the board. I thought he went OB on that one. Good job just getting on the board. And talk a little bit about that, right? Like, we saw yesterday, right, Zach Duggan went OB his last 2 sets, and all of a sudden it changed his positioning and seating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's the goal? Again, he had 600 by that point, but, just getting on the board, how important that is.
Yeah, it's kind of like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You're surviving to advance. Survive to advance. I mean, that's really all you want to do is just
And you
keep
were right.
advancing.
John Graves, 354 on that last one. He 6-balled him.
That's a little 6-ball magic. So
It's all
congratulations to John. I mean, that's going to move him up to 700 points. Great performance there. Zach Adams, he's going to go to 550. You know, he's in for sure at this point with 1 round to go. So good work. That was Gerard Pera from Spain. He needs to win his last set, I'm going to guess, to take, to advance to the next level. That's going to put him at what, 250. So if he gets a win, he'd be at 450. That's going to be right on the bubble.
My favorite thing, no matter what the broadcast crew is when everybody's trying to figure out the hundreds of scenarios at once. They go together and we just start doing math, and we're all like,
2.5 minutes, we're all like putting our math skills to the test.
Yeah. And literally, no one's able to do math on the cans. I'll say that 100%. Right?
I couldn't do it in the classroom. Look at Michael Dale's out there fishing. Get a big one. Yeah, it is funny to hear us. And you'll say, oh, like, this is the scenario. So-and-so has to win or do this. And you're like, but wait.
Yeah. And then you realize right by the end of it, you're completely wrong.
Yeah. And then you're trying to, like, okay, whose ball has been confirmed and what.
Yeah.
Good times. Not the greatest at simple math, but we can hit the ball far.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Let's see what Jason Cook's got going on here.
This is the first group in the last round, so
don't be left.
This is a good point, or a good opportunity for one of these guys to pick up 200 points.
Now, am I mistaken? Or does Jason Cook's club also match his clothes?
Yes, he's got a pink club head. I mean, it's a little purplish pink, which would match his pants because they're purple and pink blended together.
That is amazing.
I just hope he makes it to tomorrow because I want to see what he's going to wear tomorrow at the big show.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, right? That's how I feel about Rick, right? Like, Rick has been the man, colorful all weekend coming through. And today, white pants? I'm a little let down. I was a little let down this morning.
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to calm things down. Rick had an injury a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And he's actually very fortunate to even be competing right now. But he has a tree cutting service and suffered a severe injury. And I talked to him earlier this year, and he said, I'm coming back. Had this thing happen, so I haven't been able to do much. I love what you guys are doing. I'm going to come out. So he did. He went to his first event was in Port Rowan, Ontario, Canada. And that's why I said he was hitting right-handed, left-handed. I haven't noticed him hitting left-handed yet today. So maybe he's feeling like the right-handed shot is the best way to go for him.
I'm not sure if he's done it in the tournament to this point. I don't remember seeing him hit left-handed just yet. Got a couple of good scores on the board here. Jason Cook with a 345. Trying to get a hold of one. Looked like Michael Dale got a hold of one there. 178, low apex on that. Yeah,
and Gideon Stander here, he's really going after it. He's on the bubble at 375. He needs to just put a ball in play. He's got enough horsepower. He's at 325. He could surpass Jason Cook, but what he wants to do is avoid having someone like Michael Dale or Dante Doobie, steal 50 points from him. Because right now is, in the 8th spot with 375, 50 points puts him at 425. That could put him, into the tournament to tomorrow, right? So, he's going to get 100 points. Here you got me on the math.
Here we go.
Again.
Now we're doing the math. Let's do it.
But he would be 475, which is a really good chance that he's moving forward. So.
We got a confirmed 296 for Michael Dale, confirmed 346 for Gideon. Jason Cook leading away with a 354 confirmed.
So good for Gideon. I think that's going to move him to tomorrow. It's going to give him 475 points. Rick Scarfia is right.
Dante Doobie.
Yeah, and Rick Scarfia here is with 270 points. He's on the tee box with Don Beck. And we got Andrew Gregoire from Fortify. He's out there securing some of the tee box for us. You don't know Andrew. He's kind of behind the scenes a lot, but he's been helping out all year long. We had this fortuitous situation happen last year. I was at a corporate golf outing, hitting drives on a tee box in near Foxwoods Casino there, and I think it was Connecticut. And anyhow, I met him. He shows up. He's got a drone, and he's doing some drone video, and start talking to him. I ask him what he does, and he says, I do wireless internet, backup wireless internet. And I said, we need some
backup wireless
internet. And I said, actually, we need primary internet. So he said, I got you. I can do this. So the next week, he's flying out to come to our World Championship event. That was his first event. He really helped us out.
Yeah.
In fact, we had a situation where fans, you may remember this at home. Bryson was just coming off of the win at he didn't win the FedEx Cup, but he had a great performance in the FedEx Cup.
Yeah.
I think he finished runner-up to Patrick Cantlay, but then he goes to the Ryder Cup, and they win the Ryder Cup. And he's just on fire. He flies in, and he comes out and competes, and the whole town of Mesquite came out. It was really, really impressive. But the internet went down right at that time he was hitting.
Of course it does, right?
And his backup, the Fortify backup, kicked in instantly, got us right back going again. It was awesome. So if you need some backup wireless internet, call Andrew Gregoire at Fortify. Check him out. I know he's on LinkedIn, but just a great guy. Been a supporter all year long of PLDA moving forward. That's why you see his tent here on the tee box.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate him so much. So not a lot to talk about so far. Okay, Rick Scarfield.
Rick on the board, 335. We had a lot of OBs in this one, right? We've seen a lot of accuracy in the senior division, and now we had a little bit more OBs. We're 4 balls in here. Still no numbers for Gerard or Rob. Don Beck either.
Yeah, and this might be because, like, in this situation, Don Beck needs to win. Gerard Parra needs to win.
Gerard just got a good one in there, 175 ball speed.
Yeah, and Rob Sipple's probably out of the competition. Not his day today. He's got 150 points right now. Even a win is going to put him at 350, and I think he's going to have to be at least 400 plus to get in. So
Gerard at 319 here. Yeah. He needs a good shot, and that wasn't it, and he's not happy with it.
No, and that was his 6th ball,
That was
too.
the 6th ball.
But, I mean, if you look at it this way, right, if Don doesn't put a ball in play and Rob doesn't put a ball in play, both of them are probably eliminated.
Yeah.
And that means that Gerard is going to get 100 points, 375. There's a slight chance
he's still got a shot.
that he's still got a shot. But actually, I think we're wrong because right now the bubble is 400. So he's got to be at least.
He'll be out. Yeah, he'll be out.
Yeah, I think that's
because Vincent's still yet to hit, and Ryan Gearhart's still yet to hit for their 5th.
Yeah, so it looks like Gerard is going to be out of the competition. Unfortunate for him, he's been a competitor for so many years. I first met Gerard at the Endless Summer Invitational, which I think is now called the Mike Brown Invitational. Jeff Varley, one of our senior competitors, hosts that event in Huntington Beach, and I met Gerard. He had a fantastic performance, finished 2nd.
Yeah. And
I didn't even know who he was. He shows up and he's hitting these beautiful draws down this 30-yard wide, fairway on the hole, and it was just awesome to see him. He's got a passion for long drive too. He's doing what he can in Spain. He teaches golf, teaches fitness. So
how often does that happen, right? You just get the guy, because I feel like we heard it a lot here with the younger guys in long drive here. We talked about Seb Twaddle, Twaddell. Want to make sure I say it right.
Twaddle.
Just kind of walking up, swinging a club one day, and somebody going, "Hey, you should do long drive." How often do you see that?
I'm telling you, 90% of these guys, that's how they start. It's either that or they see it and they're like, "I want to do that. I want to try it. I think I can do that."
Yeah.
But most of the time, and this is it seems unusual, but most of the time it takes somebody else saying you need to do that.
Yeah.
You should go do that, and then they go try it. And the way we've done it in the past, I'm not sure if we're going to continue doing it the same exact way. It's most likely that we will do it, but we have a 3-stage qualifying process for the
Yeah.
World Championship. We have stage 1, which we call local qualifying, and that's where most people get introduced to the sport of long drive. They show up, they pay a small entry fee, hit their balls, get compared to the other guys that are there today, and if they're the longest of the 7 attempts that are hit, they advance to stage 2, which is a regional competition.
Yeah.
And they come out to the regional. We take those guys, those players that win at the regional event. We usually are taking, depending on the number of competitors, 2, 3, 4 guys sometimes to the championship event, and you're in. That's it. So find local qualifying near you. One of the cool things that we've done this year is we've used Top Tracer range. If you have the app, you've probably seen this before, but you can just log onto the app, go to the driving range, you have your width.
Yeah.
It tracks the width, it tracks the distance, and we did some tests with this earlier in the year. We hope to expand it. So if you have a Top Tracer range, reach out to us. We'd love to, this setup that we have here, we're verifying golf balls, right? We're out physically measuring, spotting golf balls.
And you saw that right there, right? Bobby Peterson and Vincent were both tied 305. You just saw that go up to 306 right there.
They're out there. It's a live event. They're making these adjustments on the fly out there. So, but we can do these competitions with really just 1 or 2 people. We don't need to have the 20-man setup here that we have. We've got 40 volunteers a day running between the 2 shifts.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people, but you can actually run a qualifier on your own from a Top Tracer range through their system.
Oh,
very easy.
Vincent clipping them there, 327.
Yep.
Could be a 4th place
and
or 3rd
John
place
Graves
finish.
at 345. Oh man.
Could be a 4th place or 3rd place finish. I'm sorry for Vincent there. Graves at 45, and that's what he's going to be confirmed at there. And Livingston right now, OB on his last 2 would give him a 2nd place finish. Does that affect? How does that affect the standings?
So
there for
I
us?
think Anthony needed to get a win. That's going to give him 350. So he's going to be below that 400-yard mark or 400-point mark. Cerlini, that'll help him out. He's going to be at 450.
Yeah.
But what we may see here, Ryan Gearhart is yet to hit his last set. He's coming up. This is going to be our last group. These 4 players are the highest ranked players in this group of 16. So right now, Zach Adams is the number 1, Troy Cayley 2, Jeff Gavin 3, and Ryan Gearhart 4.
Yeah.
So this should be the most horsepower in the group as well. There may be, let's see. Yeah, I think these guys probably are the fastest guys in the competition.
I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't matter what's going on.
You're watching Zach Adams.
I'm watching Zach Adams. Zach Adams. I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah. No, everybody's watching Zach. And he's got his khakis on today. I thought he might save those for championship day. We kind of tease him a little bit because Zach's a little old school. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Big feet, tall. He needs long pants. He's got these khakis that he just loves to fit him just right. So somebody was mentioning the other day they were disappointed because he had black pants. And,
well, that's how I feel with Rick today. You know what I'm saying? Rick's been coming colorful all week. You go with the white pants today. I feel a little let down. I thought you were. I like to see you top yourself every day a little bit.
Well, he'll be back tomorrow because Rick's competing in the super senior division tomorrow the same time. So
Zach Adams with a shot here. That
not thrilled.
Looks like that's got a little too much curve on it, maybe.
That
that's
looks
going to
like
fall
it's
in.
coming down, yeah.
That's going to fall in. 195 ball speed on that. 135 apex. Now, you said 150 yesterday was about what you want to reach. Any change in that today, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think 150 plus is where you're going to want to be. But it all comes down to the spin rate as well, right? If you're spinning it too much, hitting it high is just going to cause it to fall straight down. So
now we got a couple numbers on the board here. Jeff Gavin with a 362. Put the gas in that one.
Yeah, he hit it and did a little twirl like I got a hold of that one.
I like that, right? Seeing the variation in the celebrations, right?
Yeah.
I've seen Jeff more so just be the guy like, all right, I got that. Yeah, I'll take that one with me.
Yeah.
I think I can't tell if he likes it or not. You know what I mean? You can never tell if he likes it. It's just like every scream is primal.
I hope he never changes. I hope he never changes. So
right now, 362 on the board. Jeff Gavin leading the way.
looks like we're having maybe some technical issues in slot 1 with Ryan Gearhart.
Yeah, not seeing numbers for him
Not seeing
yet.
numbers, and you see him looking at the jumbotron right now, trying to get an idea of where he's at.
Yeah.
And
he pointed to it. Yeah, you see him pointed to it. And here's Zach Adams get 352 moving in the second place here.
Yeah, Troy Cayley.
He liked that one.
Troy Cayley's at 450. If he finishes second, third, fourth, he should be through. So he might be in a tie for that 8th spot, but he should be at least in the eligible and not eliminated.
Now we still got no numbers for Gearhart here, and that was like you said, right? Was he outside the bubble or was he? So he's outside. He was at 9.
Gearhart's
so
out.
he needed at least something in play there.
Yeah, I think these guys want to get to at least 500. So Gearhart's got the horsepower to do it too.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure things out. The good thing is if the tablets for some reason go down.
Troy Cayley moving into second place there. 2.362s from Jeff Gavin. Cayley 354 confirmed now.
Yeah, and that should put Cayley through no problem right now.
Zach Adams at 352, but he was through already he was sitting 4th.
Yep.
So he'll move up no matter what, and then he'll be same spot.
Jeff Gavin here likely to get his 5th win, which would be 1,000 points, and that would put him as the number 1 seed out of this group of 16.
Now
here's the issue: is we do have a tie for second place.
Oh, so we've got a tie here.
So what happens?
We've got a measurement out in the field. Let's see if we can get a camera on that.
Yeah,
of course we can, because I'm the camera.
Just confirmed 2 at 354. Now, they probably got a tie because it was within that 6 inches, and because it may not be an elimination.
Yeah.
They're going to split points, so that's going to say Gavin's going to get 200 points for finishing first. Then you're going to take 100 points for second and 50, split them up, so they would each get 75. So Ryan Gearhart would go to 475.
Yeah.
Troy Cayley, he would go to 525. So Cayley's going to be in. He's going to be in the 5th spot, and then we're going to have a 3-way tie, most likely for 6, 7, and 8, which is okay.
Which is fine. You're all through.
Yeah, because all of you get through, and then we just go back and work the tiebreaker through the rankings.
And that was
whatnot.
huge that you told us that yesterday, because we were trying to figure out why we were seeing 701, 702, 703.
Yep.
I think Bobby and Marty, when they were in the booth, was like, "What's going on? Like we're in the zeros, so we shouldn't be seeing 1s, 2s, and 3s."
And that's a programming thing. Somebody, Curtis Foles, our computer programmer, a lot smarter than I am, helped us design this system so that we could, on the fly, turn these competitions through quickly.
So we got 354. Now we got to change there. 355 for Troy.
Okay, so they did the measurement.
That's going to put him in 3rd.
Yeah, and
second. I'm sorry.
And Gearhart, let's see, that moves Gearhart. He is now maybe going to be tied at 450. 3-way tie for that 2 spots, 7 and 8. So we may have a playoff here. Let's take a look.
7 and 8 or 8 and 9. Oh, Gearhart was 9. Yeah, he's on the bubble. That's a big 3rd place for him.
So
second would have been a lot better, but
they should have a playoff here. So what I think you're going to see is Vince Cherlini and Ryan Gearhart are going to have a playoff for that 8th spot.
Followed by Troy Cayley, 355. Ryan Gearhart, 354, and Zach Adams, 352.
Showing some of the landscape there right now. Just a beautiful location that we are here, able to see that we're at here. I mean, you got the mesas surrounding you. I think you corrected me on that. I was going Butte. You were going Mesa.
They could probably mean the same thing. And maybe in Utah you say Mesa, and in Arizona they say Butte. I don't know.
I don't remember science class that much from high school. Geography. It was a long time ago. Geography. See what I mean?
Yep. All right, here we go. We're going to have us a playoff. They're calling Vince Cerlini. He's going to be in slot 2, hitting the yellow ball, and Ryan Gearhart in slot 1, hitting the white ball.
Yeah.
Whenever we do a playoff where someone is eliminated from the competition, we always do a 6-ball playoff. It used to be that we would do ties and have a 3-ball playoff. But if we can split points and the competition moves on, we just do that. Keep the pace of play up. So we'll see a 6-ball playoff here. And Gerard Pair of 375, just finishing out. You know, unfortunately he needed to get a win in his 5th round.
Now, what's your approach going into a playoff in this situation, right? Like there's a ton of pressure, ton of tension. It's not even 4 on the board anymore. It's just the 2 of you. You know they're focusing on you. What's your approach going out here?
So I'll tell you a couple of different approaches. The first rule of long drive is put a ball in play.
Yeah.
If you put a ball in play and it's a good ball, it doesn't have to be a super long ball, but it has to be something where other guy has to reach for. Like if, for example, right now, if Ryan Gearhart puts something in the high 40s, 340 something, that will put pressure on Vince Cerlini.
Early shot there by Vince. Looks like that's going to be in. Like you said, just getting the ball in play. And I believe Ryan went OB left on that for his first shot.
Yeah, looks like he's OB.
Another shot there. Oh, he
You
got
like
a hold
that
of
one?
that
You
one.
like
Vince
that
got a
one?
hold of that one. Take a look here at Ryan. Again, OB left. So Vince right now with 2 shots on the board. Ryan.
It looked like Ryan Gearhart's ball. His ball was in play. His second drive. No,
Was that?
It
No,
says
that's OB. Let's see here. Vince again. Another one in play. He's just putting balls in play at this point. Ryan's got to get something on the board here. Let's see what we got here. I think that's going to be OB right.
You know what I can tell you? This is confusing.
Oh, that's going to be in.
So we actually have Ryan Gearhart in slot 1 hitting the white ball, and we have Vincent Cerlini in slot 2 hitting the yellow ball. They're backwards on the board.
You're absolutely right.
So we need to make sure that they call the right balls for the right players. Would you go down?
There's one for Vince there.
Yeah, because
yeah, that's absolutely right.
I'm seeing the name is not corresponding with the T slot. So we need to make sure that they know the white ball is for Ryan Gearhart. My friend Andrew Gregoire with Fortify, he's gonna go double check that and make sure. And that could be simply a programming error that they just put him in the wrong T slot.
So we're going to hold off calling out the scores now.
Yeah.
We are seeing some on the screen.
Yeah,
but we want to make sure the ball callers know, right? Because the program is not the official. Although we're seeing some good balls here now.
Yeah. And Seamus knows he's our scorekeeper. He's also our MC over there. He knows that they're switched. So he's
And so what are we?
I'm pretty certain that Gearhart's balls are in. I think that the color of the ball.
Both guys have balls in play now.
Yeah,
both guys have balls in play now.
But we're not seeing any numbers for Cerlini in slot 1. So something is off maybe with the tablet. Sometimes they overheat.
Yeah, and we've had that a couple of times out here, right, with the top tracer tablet and stuff like that. It's going to be big to get that corrected there. As time going out now, both guys competed pretty well there. I mean, they both got a hold of a couple of balls. They put a couple of nice shots in play, saw some good ball speeds. 193 for Vince, I believe, was his top on that one. Ryan Gearhart getting into the 190s as well. So you saw some good ball speeds, good placement. And so we do have a final score, but again, we're waiting on these finals here until you get that line under the name, because we've got to get this sorted out here. But if this is correct, right, Ryan Gearhart hit a 340, 339, 322. We don't know if they're correct yet, but that's not a bad set, especially in a playoff.
Yep. And I think I told you that. I said 348.
Yeah.
You know, something like that would put some pressure. Still, we're not seeing the numbers on the board. They're getting it sorted out. Our man Jeff Allen, he's our Okay, good. We're just getting a confirmation from Andrew Gregoire. They were aware of the difference in the ball. My guess is Cherlini is not going to be happy at 340, but I don't know what Gearhart. But he hit a ball and he liked it.
He liked it. No, that first ball he
Yeah.
hit was beautiful. But I mean, the real question is, right? Were the slots different? Were they in the right positions? Did they move in the right? Like, so there's a little bit to work out here before we get our final scores here.
Yeah, and really the key point is we know that Gearhart was hitting the white ball.
Yes.
Cherlini was hitting
Orange,
the
right? Or is
the
it
yellow
green?
ball.
Yellow ball. Okay.
Yeah, and so as long as they say the yellow ball was X, the white ball was X,
Yeah.
Y, then you'll know X or Y which one won. So.
And the main thing is, right, again, we've got people confirming it out in the field,
Yep.
out on the grid.
They
Like
pick-
that's what it comes down to.
Yep, they picked up on it pretty quickly. So it had me confusing because you were mentioning the
saying the
wrong
wrong
name,
names.
and I'm like,
Right.
no, man, Gearhart just hit a good ball.
Hey, I'm new.
That didn't
I'm
go out
new.
of bounds.
Hey, listen,
So.
players mess up.
We're going to take a short break after this. We will be back at 11:30. Let's see. What time is it right now?
We got 10:02.
10:02.
I believe we're coming back 10:30 for the next
we'll
set.
be back at 10:30 for the next set. Once we
We'll
get this
see
figured
Eddie
out.
Francisco. I can't do it.
Hernandez, Contreras. Yeah. I don't know how Bobby remembers it. So he's got it down, though. But let's go through this. We'll run down where we're at right now. We know that Jeff Gavin, number 1 seed, won all 5 of his sets. Longest ball of the day so far, 375.
Yeah.
John Graves won all of his sets, except he finished second to Jeff Gavin. So he's got 900 points. Jason Cook, 2 second-place finishes, 800 points. Zach Adams, 575, couple of wins, a second-place finish, third and a fourth, but he's in comfortably. Troy Cayley at 550. Troy with just 1 win, but 3 second-place finishes. Gideon Stonder, he's here from the UK. He's in at 475. Rick Scarfia, 475. They're going to be moving on. Our question now is, does Ryan Gearhart have a drive over 340 yards in this last round?
Yeah, we're still waiting on
because it looks like the number for Vince Cherlini is 340. Congratulations to Vince, too, that's a pretty good performance. He was 0 for 3 on his first 3 balls.
Yeah.
Comes back, puts 3 balls in play. All of them, good solid drives. The technical side of the competition here actually is very important, and so for you folks at home watching, we understand a lot of our productions in the past have been static cameras here. We've really tried to do a good job of getting a first-class crew out here to run these cameras for us, which they've been doing all week, and so we see here that we got the top tracer equipment. We're gonna see if we're getting some feedback here from our right. So whose ball was longer?
They're checking it now to see whose was the longest.
So we have all the balls. Okay, all right.
Getting a lot of information.
The
here at
suspense
the
is
end. I
making
know,
me
right?
sick.
It's killing me. It's killing me. And we're getting a lot of balls here. We're getting a lot of information here at the end. Again, right? Like, let's talk about some of the performances we saw. Right, Jeff Gavin, John Graves, Jason Cook, all doing really well there. Right, Zach Adams and getting himself involved, always coming with the energy. Who's out of the top 7 that we have here? Who are you feeling still kind of the favorite? You still leaning Jeff Gavin the favorite as a champion here, or
So
what are you thinking early?
It's hard to count out the champ. I will say we talked earlier with Eddie. Eddie wants this win bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard it. He sacrificed hitting in the open division, which he's a solid open division competitor.
Yes.
Eddie's a good, solid competitor. I think he wants to be primed for victory.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jeff beat him in March out here,
Yeah.
and I actually think it was maybe in May when we were out here a second time. But I think that Eddie's speed may just be a little bit better than Jeff. Jeff is maybe going to wear out. This is like his 3rd day of hitting. I think Jeff is still in the open division.
He's still in the open
so
division
he's going to have to come back and hit a second time today. Tomorrow, that's going to be a long day. So I mean, if I was a betting man and if my life depended on, I would maybe, I hate to say it, I would maybe pick Eddie Fernandez.
Yeah. And that's the dream matchup there, right?
Yeah, and that's just because of I think what Eddie's done to prepare himself. So now we could have Eddie come out, and Eddie could go, 0 for 6 and a bag of chips and
Yeah.
be, you know, on his way home. We don't know.
And listen,
That's
again,
why we play.
I think the best thing about this and the best way to speak of the example of the sport, right, is it's the reason you do.
Ryan Gearhart wins the playoff and is our 8th player.
And we've got Ryan Gearhart advancing 349, longest drive there, as we just got that information. Vince confirmed at 340. So we got our answer there.
Yeah, and Vince is going to be back. I believe he's in the Super Senior Division tomorrow. It's a testament to Vince, being 55 plus. I think Gearhart's 46.
Yeah.
9 years his younger, and he's right there in the mix with these guys. So, Vince has been a strong competitor he was competing long before I started, and I started in 2010. This is my 13th season. So hats off to Vince. Not the performance, I'm sure wanted to see today, but he's, like we talked about earlier, he's battling back from some health issues.
Yeah.
He did well. He did well. Unfortunately, not enough today, and congratulations to Gearhart for advancing. I think Gearhart, we see here he won a set, and then he struggled a little bit, had some third-place finishes. Not putting the quality balls in play that we're used to seeing from him. So I think he's going to regroup. I think he'll be back tomorrow and ready to go. So
is there somebody at the bottom here that maybe you feel? I feel like Gideon hit a couple of good balls there that could have put him a little bit higher in the competition. Somebody that you think might sneak up and be primed for the taking.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the strong competitors in this group get through. Anthony Livingston, he's one of those guys that I don't think he hit as well today as maybe he has in past competitions. He's a guy that could have been there, but I think the
strong survive.
Honestly, Rick Scarfia was a little bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Just because he hasn't been competing as much.
A little lower ball speed too.
Yeah, he's not a real big guy, but
getting that win, 200 points will do it for you.
Yeah, good for him. 2 wins, right? 2 wins and then 2 fourth-place finishes. But we weigh that win heavily because they're important, right? It is long drive. We're going for the longest drives.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back at 10:30 here, so make sure you guys stay tuned. 10:30, we're going to see Eddie hit.
Yeah,
and,
our
we'll be
tour
tuned in for
champion, David Mobley. This is I got to tell you about this guy. So David Mobley, multiple-time world champion. He won like 5 tour events this year.
Yeah.
Really, really good ball striker. Not the fastest, but still fast.
Yeah.
But he's a magician with flighting the golf ball. And he's really the kind of guy that I was talking to you about earlier that you're going to see from the senior division.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you another name, Tom Peppard, also a world champion, right? Tom Peppard, very crafty, very good ball flight. Mike Bauman, I mentioned him earlier, a national champion with the PLDA, multiple wins in the XLDs, champion. So, he's going to be a strong performer. E.J. McDonald.
Yeah.
Don't count out E.J. McDonald from Naples, Florida. He hits a cut, nice cut. There's not a wind condition here that is going to hurt that cut.
Yeah.
And he's very consistent. So, but you'll see a newcomer, George Nagy. Jim Heflin's a tour winner. So I think, here's a good one. Jeff Farley. I mentioned him earlier. Jeff Farley is just into that 45 age group. So younger guy, good ball striker, flights the ball, got some horsepower still. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and we're going to see these guys, rise to the top. We're going to have we've got a Noritaka Osaka from Japan. So some international competitors still. I'm excited. So I instead of talking, let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
And we're going to talk about it for an hour and a half. All right, 20 minutes, folks. We'll be back on air. Rejoin us.
Please.
Like, subscribe,
All that,
follow us on Instagram, Pro Long Drivers. Check out prolongdrivers.com, our website. We appreciate your support, and we'll be back in 20.
We'll be back in 20.